Welcome back to another edition of Bourbon Banter Evans. Justin, what are we doing today?
Man, it would really look like we're about to do some more reviews, but we're not. So this is the 2025 KBF, Kentucky Bourbon Festival, review of the festival and our experiences and things that we learned versus the last year. You got to go on this one.
Yep.
So things that we won't want to do again versus what we will want to do again.
Yeah.
And so this is just going to be a synopsis of what the Kentucky Bourbon Festival was for us so that you guys will know whether or not you want to spend your hard-earned time and money to go up to these really cool festivals that don't have the cheapest tickets in the world, have very long lines, very busy, lots of people, but great bourbon.
Yeah, lots of bourbon. Things are definitely a little different this year, I think, from the past year.
100%. So each one of these bottles came from the festival this year. And last year's haul looked completely different. It was a lot more expensive last year, and the bottles were a lot higher end. One that I will definitely call out is, if you haven't had it, every single person needs to make the trip and get this. This bottle is fantastic.
It is very good.
So,
and for some reason, they say the Y is the hardest one to come by.
the K.
Oh, it was the K. That's right.
Yeah.
It was the K.
Yeah, I don't remember why I chose the Y, but it spells out the Kentucky series, spells out Kentucky. So if you were to get all the bottles, you'd have a K,
Yep.
an E, so on and so forth. You know how to spell Kentucky. I obviously don't. How do you spell Kentucky? Uncut, unfiltered.
Yes, indeed.
Look, go ahead and throw this out there. I do have my new bourbon socks on from the Bourbon Festival.
Yes, you do.
And they are from the Buffalo Trace Distillery. We did get to do a tour while we were up there.
Always
So
fun.
if you get a chance, definitely recommend doing a Buffalo Trace tour. Maker's Mark tour is
Yes.
fantastic. We stopped by Four Roses. Well, one of our friends ended up winning one of the lottery bottles, so got it signed by Mr. Elliott.
Yep. And then also do the mixed drinks there. If you have enough time, do the mixed drinks there. I heard they were really good at Four Roses.
Yeah, I didn't have anything there.
Right.
But supposedly everybody was raving on them. And they had some really nice Peter Millar swag if you wanted some Four Roses.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm talking about like Peter Millar is nice.
Yeah,
And they had
and-
some nice polos. They were discounted and everything. Had they had my size, I probably would have left with one.
And decent prices too.
Yeah, they
Really
were
decent
fantastic prices. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a cool place to go see.
Yeah.
And so those are some of the tours we did. Now, one of the things that we also did after the Buffalo Trace tour is we found out that Mattingly
Yes.
was right across the street.
And that was phenomenal.
So
That's fun.
let me go ahead and call myself out for being dumb for the last 3 years. Still thinking that Mattingly was in Georgetown, Kentucky. So for all those people I told you to go do your own, make your own bottle thing, go to Georgetown, that's my bad.
Yep. Go to Bardstown.
Yeah, go to Bardstown. Or no, Frankfurt. Yeah, Frankfurt. So so we did decide to make our own blend. It was a toasted Kentucky barrel series of 4 different ones. And it's ended up being a 70-20-10 blend
Yes, indeed.
of a toasted with different toasted barrels that they use. So it ended up being pretty good.
It's good.
And we did our own custom wax and labels like that. So
Yeah, that was fun.
Always recommend going and do that. It's very fun. So shout out to Mattingly for having a great facility and great times of making your own bottles and blends, wax and all that fun stuff.
For sure. Yeah, definitely. And then one of the ones that I thought was awesome was Potter Jane.
Yeah. Go to Potter Jane. Check it out. Go see Denny. Super cool guy. We talked for a while. This is their distillate. This is probably the best white dog that I've had since having it straight off the still at 1792.
Yes. It's good.
Yeah, and I told Denny that too while he was there at the festival. So then we get the 1792 picks that it did festival only, how they only did like 240 bottles and I was able to get one. I have no idea. There's thousands of people there.
Yeah. But hey, I was lucky enough, most of us were lucky enough to get one out of our group.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And we got one engraved. So they were doing engraving this year.
Yeah, that was cool.
So if you look, it's Kentucky Bourbon Festival engraved. I thought that was super cool.
Yep, and then you've got your nice little RFID tag. That's what you wear to get in and out.
Yep. And then, of course, they got the Distiller's Row series for that. It's been a while since we filmed. I think I've made about 18 different speaking mistakes so far. Uncut, unfiltered again.
That's
So.
what it's for.
And as Charles always says,
Yes. Hey, if you would, give us that thumbs up, hit that like button, and subscribe.
so since we're talking about the festival, let me go ahead and say we are not going to be drinking anything on this table because I will be opening this one eventually. These two will stay in the cool signed stuff from the festival. And what we are drinking is our Bourbon Banter Evans Buffalo Trace pick. So
Very good
cheers.
pick.
What's in your glass?
Very good pick. Yeah, no, and then one of the things I thought was a little different from what you said was how everything kind of worked this year between the VIP section and the regular section.
Yes, and I definitely agree. So let's get into a little bit of that. So as we get there the first day, we realize that we have to be there an hour or 2 hours early, which due to drive time, we were able to accomplish that. So the gates open at 12 for the non-VIP, and they open an hour early for VIP. If you're able to get the $795 VIP ticket, it guarantees you an hour early entrance, and the exception is you get more opportunities to get more rare bottles.
Right.
There were so many people and tickets sold this year.
Yeah.
There were several VIP people that didn't get bottles.
That-
So that meant there was no possible way for us to get any.
Right.
So that's how many people there were. So I will say, at this festival, it seemed like there was at least 5,000 to 10,000 more people than there was last year.
There was a lot of people for sure.
Yeah, it was very crowded, and you did have to be prepared to stand in line. So after we stood in line for about 2.5 hours for the gate to open at noon with the hopes of getting something cool, rare, whatever you want to call it, we decided not to.
No, we decided it was time to just go try some new bourbons. Let's see what they had out there, and let's just go enjoy the festival.
So what was your honest thoughts on the actual festival itself, not the painstaking standing in line if we had to do that? We all know that's a negative, but it's still a positive. You get to try great whiskey. But
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. I mean, I would have never seen Potter Jane, been able to have that experience over there, because that was a cool experience, talking with Denny and everything, and actually getting to try some of their stuff, which was amazing compared to what some of the stuff we have to buy.
Right.
That is junk.
And it's only months old.
Yes.
I mean, compared. So I can't wait for Potter Jane to be up and going
Yeah.
with their age stuff. It's going to take a while. They're still,
Oh, yeah.
in the process.
Yeah.
But super good time. So I will have to say, though, the grounds, I thought the grounds layout was fine.
Yeah,
I thought the grounds were laid out just fine. I was super impressed with the Angels Envy building.
Yeah, the Angels Envy building was cool.
That was the
pretty
main
neat.
sponsor for the event.
Yeah. 1792, of course. I loved their little building
Oh,
they
yeah,
had there.
They always crush it.
And I mean, they're just giving out 12-year like crazy,
I
which
know.
was awesome.
Yeah. And the shopping area was completely separated where it was in the festival last time.
Right.
So this time it was off to the side. So that was nice because you could do the shopping before you entered the festival, or you could do the shopping, take it back to your car,
Yeah.
and then go into the festival and not have to worry about carrying it around with you or putting it in the locker, which that was nice.
Right.
So that's a big convenience.
Yeah.
So I definitely like that better.
The food was always good.
They had twice as many food trucks as it seemed, which makes sense if you have that many more ticket sales.
Right.
And so outside of the not being able to get certain bottles, and then some of us were able to on Sunday, but not quite Friday and Saturday, what we did learn, and this is one of the main things, or main takeaways, is we don't have to rush to get to the opening anymore because there's that many more tickets. As long as we get to Evergreen's liquor store in downtown Bardstown, which is walking distance.
When they open.
When they open, they start putting out all kind of cool bottles and all kind of fun things. And they had a ton of this,
Yeah.
which this is actually from the festival. Didn't know that this was at the store. So
And they were putting out stuff left and right. It was great.
yeah, it's a super good time.
It was fun. Yeah.
Yeah, they do this thing where they hide
Yes.
3 unicorns.
Yes.
3 little rubber unicorns, and then they have what bottle is linked to which unicorn, and if you find the unicorn while shopping, then you get to take that up to the counter and redeem it for whatever bottle and buy that bottle.
Right.
I believe.
I don't remember.
Wasn't one a Bland's?
I think one was a
Which
Blanton's.
we weren't trying to find the Bland's
No.
pony by any stretch.
If I would have done that, I would have given it to somebody. To be
Yeah.
honest with you,
Uh-huh.
been like, here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have Alan in the background. He went to the festival too. We're gonna mic him up real quick, and he can come on camera if he wants. If not, but we are gonna ask Alan. At least we'll be able to hear him much better. Just hold that thing near. Alan, what was your biggest takeaway and your biggest negative of the festival? We'll start with that question.
Lots of people. Compared to last year, you just made the point that people this year were able to shop outside of the festival. That means the entire grounds area that used to be the vendor space was now unlocked for more distilleries.
Yeah.
And so they said, oh, well, now we can fit a lot more people and a lot more ticket sales. And so with that came even still longer lines because of those added ticket sales.
Yeah.
So I see what they were trying to do and how they were playing the logistics, but it really did. If you went in thinking, oh man, I'm going to go get all of these amazing bottles that I either don't see in my area or I'm just not lucky enough to get it. It used to be in the past, you could go get in line and wait for 30 minutes or even an hour. And you know what? Sometimes some of those lines could be a couple of hours long, but you know what? It's okay if you want to get your
Yep.
Parker's Heritage or whatever the bottle that you're dreaming of might be, there it is for you if you're willing to wait in line. This year, you would go and wait in that line and come up completely empty-handed. And so that was really difficult. And even on top of that, if we're talking about the negatives, VIP,
Yeah.
those guys start at what, $800 or something like
Yeah.
that and go all the way up to nearly $7,000 for a ticket. And those guys
even
if
missed
you
out.
didn't show up at 6 in the morning for an 11 a.m. for them call time or doors time, you still missed out on a lot of those bottles, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So that was, in my opinion, the biggest negative of the event.
Yeah.
Makes complete sense. I definitely understand that, and that's what we were talking about too. I'm going to do this little quick back and forth if you don't mind. So that was definitely the negative. Now, what's the greatest positive you have? And did you like the way they set up the VIP, or not the VIP, the experience tent, where the location was this time versus last time, where we did the different mash bills, different whiskey, or same mash bill, 5 different whiskeys. So touch on that real quick. What's your thoughts, Charles, as you as well, since I'm going to hand the mic off. What's your thoughts on how that was laid out, how it was set up, how it changed last second, all that fun stuff?
Well, sometimes things happen. I think that there was an emergency that happened with some of the folks that were responsible for the event that we had signed up for. And so they did an emergency changeover, and we didn't quite find out in time. And so it was kind of difficult, and so it had some logistic issues there. But the event itself is still really neat. I mean, you've got a great tent that they put up, and they light it nicely inside. They've got a little stage on the front, and these master distillers and major movers and shakers of the industry come in and they tell you about their product, and you get this deep insight and knowledge on some of the most basic whiskeys and some of the really fun ones too. And that is really cool thing. Now, it's at additional cost, and so you got to pay to play, but some of those experiences are really neat, and you get to take pictures and hang out with and chat even briefly with some of these folks, and that's really fun.
I think it was what? It was 90 something bucks for the experience, I think, something like that. Yeah, 80, 90
So that's not bad, because the event that we did last year, I think, was $150.
Yeah, this one wasn't the one we did. This one wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
This one was
that's
just
true.
this was just.
It was still a great event because, again, it was like 4 to 5 different whiskeys that are all different using the exact same mash bill.
Yeah, I just wish I would have sat down at some of the places that had the heavier pours. I wasn't smart enough to sit down at the one that had the heavier pours.
The one thing with the events, though, compared to the year before, this year it was closed off, so it made it better because there was so much outside noise when we did. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, that's true.
We had so much out there, so they had them closed off this time.
Yeah, it was
The
much
tents-
easier
the
to
tents were
hear.
open last
Okay.
year.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
much easier to hear, and it was kind of air conditioned in
It
there.
was AC.
Because they had those giant ACs running. So if you go to the Bourbon Festival, be prepared. There are extra experiences that you can pay for that are super cool and learn all kind of different things. They've got live music playing most of the time. They've got several different people being interviewed on stage that you can do that event where they have plenty of chairs out front where you can just pop in and listen to what they have to say. And it could be master distillers, could be master blenders, tasters, all the fun stuff. And what I really like, and Alan, I don't know if you can attest to this as much just because we were in different locations a lot of the time, but I was able to go and talk to a lot of the old master distillers that I've known for a while and all that. And I always like going and, re-meeting and talking with them, seeing, several of them that I've been seeing. I mean, you got to remember, 20 years into this, 40,000 hours, I've met a bunch of those guys, and they're always super cool. And you always learn something different.
Right.
That's why it was so cool. Yeah, we're friends on Facebook, but this is the first time shaking hands with Denny Potter, which was super cool. He's a super fun guy, super funny too.
He was great. He was great.
Yeah. And so now he makes super good whiskey. And if you guys aren't familiar with who Denny Potter was, he was the master distiller at Heaven Hill.
Yep.
Yeah. And so now he's doing his own thing. So Alan went a little bit different route. So I don't think he went around and met as many master distillers, but I think he did do a lot of tasting and found some good stuff. So what is your best score bottle? And did you spend more money this year or last year? I saved money this year.
We'll talk about that here in a second.
I spent probably 3x this year compared to last year. And last year was rough as it was on the wallet. And that's because this year I spent more time just going around to the different distilleries and actually getting to know the folks there, whether they were master distillers or whether they were just folks there doing marketing, etc. They still had the product there, and they had great depth of knowledge of their products. And so they're able to share all of these deep insights with what they're doing and why, and then follow it up with a really nice pour. And it's funny because some of the distilleries, they give you something and you say, oh, that's not for me. Well, now you know. And then other distilleries, you go in and you say, I am not expecting anything from these guys. Not my favorite.
Yep.
You tried a bunch of the new stuff.
New stuff.
And then you take a sip and go, you've got to be kidding me. How did you do this? And they are too excited to tell you exactly how they did it. And so that is the really fun thing to me. And those lines usually aren't very long to do that.
No.
I'll tell you
That's
what.
the great thing.
For me, the Green River, the 225th anniversary bottle, going to the Green, that one was so good.
Yeah.
And getting to try that there. They had it there, everything else, and they had some cool bottles there. And that was,
They had
you just breeze right
They
there.
had all
straight through.
kind of awesome stuff
Yeah.
at Green River, and go ahead and call me out on this because I know it's going to happen, and then I'm going to have to hand the mic back to Alan so he can say his piece about it. I did a great job of not buying bourbon at the Bourbon Festival.
Oh, and there was one, wasn't there one
Big purchase.
purchase that was actually inside? It wasn't outside. It was inside the Bourbon Festival, wasn't it?
Yeah.
One vendor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, if you go to the Bourbon Festival, they have this really nice Oris watch trailer. And they are good salesmen.
Yeah.
And they have really cool green that matches my truck.
And I think but you did a good job. You waited a year.
Yeah, I did. I waited a year. And so because of buying the Oris watch, I now have less bourbon. and so I'm sure Alan has something to say about me not buying bourbon and buying a watch.
So, no big deal here. I'm just saying they did have a VIP ticket that included the watch for free. Just letting you know.
Yeah,
bro.
I think that was like $7,000 or so.
Yeah, that ticket was the the $69.99, but yes, it did come with an Oris watch. And if it wasn't this specific one, I wouldn't have wanted it
Yeah,
anyway.
exactly.
So shout out to the Control. We haven't had it in a while. I'm going here next.
Yeah,
so
I'm still-
cheers. What's in your glass? It's about to be the Control.
Let me say two things.
Yep.
One thing, Alan spent 3x because he needed new tires, first off. The second thing is, it's a great event because the master distillers make you feel welcome no matter who you are, from what if you're a novice to the most experienced person. They'll sit there and spend the time with you and talk to you and give you full attention like you're anyone else.
Yeah.
I agree. They
Yep.
not only that, but they do it over and over.
Yeah.
And so it is amazing the storytelling in that, Kentucky and bourbon have gone hand in hand with storytelling since the founding of those two things.
For sure.
And so some of the best stories come over a glass or a nice pour of cup, glass, mug of bourbon.
Yeah,
So-
definitely.
and so I agree. It's like they don't ever break smiles.
No.
They don't get mad. They just, hey, I might need to take a break. Let me go get some food or
Yep.
water real quick. But they come right back and like, let me tell you about this. And it's super fun. It's
Yeah.
such a good time going and learning from them.
And I think that's where I had the most fun for me is talking to these small distilleries, even some of the bigger ones, talking to them, getting to try their stuff. Was all of it good? No, it wasn't. But it was great trying it because then you know for sure.
That's how you learn.
Yeah.
And so I will say this though, one of my takeaways in disappointment world, and that is out of the, I think they say 200 distilleries are represented. From the Sazerac company, it was just 1792.
Yeah.
What about Buffalo Trace?
I know.
What about anything
Yeah.
other than just, don't get me wrong, 1792 is my favorite. I'm not going to not ever like that. But how about some other representation?
Exactly.
I mean, Heaven Hill usually has the most popular booth, if you want to call it that, setup. The longest line always.
Yeah.
And then Maker's Mark always has their stuff there with the long line. Old Forester, that's what was crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
Old Forester had one of the longest lines because of the 117 series release this year. Not to taste it though, just to buy
Buy
it,
it.
which we didn't know that. So we were like, we're not waiting in this line. So it wasn't until later on in the festival that we found out we could just go taste it all we wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, yeah, let's just go taste it. But we were able to find some 117 actually going out and about.
Multiple
too. Yeah.
stores had it. So that's the other thing that I would say as far as the Kentucky Bourbon Festival is don't just limit yourself to the festival.
Right.
The festival is great. Go back, and by the way, the food trucks are awesome. You got to pay to play though. I mean, that's how they make their living. So their food is phenomenal, but it costs a little bit more than just going to a fast food restaurant.
Yep.
But go out and explore the area. Bardstown has a lot of cool things. Now, the other situation that must be addressed. This is like the Masters, which we're in Evans, which is right down the street. So the Augusta National Golf Course hosts the Masters golf tournament. If you're not familiar with golf, everybody rents their houses out for tremendous amounts for all these patrons to come in and stay and watch the most famous golf tournament. That being said, Kentucky Bourbon Festival in Bardstown is like the Masters for them.
It is.
Everybody rents their houses out. The hotels are triple the rate.
Right.
And it's very hard. You'd have to probably start shopping now to try to find a place to stay.
Probably, yeah. Of course.
We rent a house, and there's 8 of us that go
Yeah.
in, and couches, blow ups,
Everything.
Beds to those that have the beds. And then if you can't figure out how to college crash again, I think we've forgotten where our roots came from.
Exactly.
As far as how to take over an entire house of people.
Yeah. And the only other thing that I did not like this year was, I think it was Green River that was giving away the little lanyards for the mini Glens.
Now, this is a pet peeve of Charles.
This is a very big one. I don't know why. It just really irked me. But then last year, they were free, by Green River. And props to them. This year, nobody had them. You had to buy them from Kentucky Bourbon Festival.
But let's admit and call a spade a spade.
It is what it is. They're
It's
making
a money grab.
They are. It's a money grab.
They're there to make money. Yes, they're there to have a great time and put on a great festival. But they're not going to not make money.
I still think
the bourbon world.
I still think it should be included in the cost of the ticket. Personally.
I 100% agree with that.
Personally.
Yes, 100% agree with that. This control is very good. If you guys have not had this, you really need to stop by and ask for a pour.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, anything else?
Alan, you got anything else to add?
It's a good trip. It's worth doing.
Definitely worth doing.
It was a great time.
Next year is the 35th anniversary?
Yes.
Or is it 25th?
No, I think it's
35th.
35th.
I think it's the 35th anniversary. So we are still in limbo as to whether we do that or Bourbon on the Banks.
Yeah, so try a new one.
There's multiple different things that we could do. We're
Yeah.
thinking about trying something new and seeing how many people we don't run into at that giant festival. Because and when I say run into, literally, like, I think Alan and Keenan got into a fight with the crowd, and some guys had to take over control and prevent a bigger fight from breaking out in the Maker's Mark line.
Mm-hmm.
That was a fiasco. I made the YouTube rounds on video.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
So he's on YouTube controlling this giant mob of people trying to knock everybody over in the Maker's. I think he had to help a guy in a wheelchair not get run over.
No, it was
We helped each other.
Yeah.
You helped each other, okay.
It was a bad situation.
And
So when it comes to certain bottles,
I got out of
expect
there.
certain chaos.
I got out of there. I was like, nope, y'all have fun.
Yeah.
And it wasn't worth it for
I
me.
really do wish I would have bought that Green River bottle that I passed on, but I can't knock the Green Watch.
Yeah, that's true.
So
But yeah, and then honestly, let us know in the comments. Were you there? Are you thinking about going to the new one? Let us know in the comments. We'd really like to hear what you have to say.
yeah, if you're going, let us know, and if we go, we'll see if we can't meet up, have a pour, because that's what it's all about, and it's super fun. So
Definitely.
I'd say that's the tip of the iceberg and a brief synopsis of the Kentucky Bourbon Festival. Do we highly recommend it? Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
So much fun. Is there negatives? There's negatives with everything.
Everything you do.
There's not enough negative for me not to go back.
Right.
So will I go back next year? That I don't know, because I want to try some of these other festivals and broaden the whole.
Yep.
Like, ooh, been to this one, been to that one.
And see maybe if we can find one Buffalo Trace is at.
Yeah, no kidding. That would be nice.
Yeah.
To see what the opportunity is. So definitely do the tours. Tour Bardstown. Go see all the things there is to see there. The Oscar Getz Museum is awesome to walk through and see the history of a lot of the brands.
Definitely.
That's a fun time. That's included with the Kentucky Bourbon Festival tickets. So that's part of one of the gates that you go in is through the building. So definitely recommend that. Now, one last question, and then we'll call it.
All right.
Best bourbon tried at the festival.
You know what? Honestly, I'm going to have to say it's 2 for me. 1792 12 year. I love that.
It's always good.
Yeah,
Always good.
I love that. But honestly, one that not very many people got to try, you and I got to try it, was that Potter Jane of there when they brought it out to just
like
to see what they're testing their age.
6 or 8 months old.
I think it was like 8 months old. That was some of the best. It was better than some of the 6 years that I've tried. 6-year-old bourbons I've tried.
It was solid.
Yeah.
So based off of what was there and what I've had, and I'm going to go with something I haven't had, I'm going with this one.
That one was good too.
This one was such a standout. And a little bit of background on this. This is a Heaven Hill mash aged at Bardstown Bourbon Company and bottled for these guys. So that's exactly what that is, and it is just outstanding.
It is good.
So on that, I say cheers. What's in your glass? Will you attend the 2026 Kentucky Bourbon Festival?